Chapter 6, Observation over Opinion. Approximately 1,000 words, 7 to 9 minutes spoken pacing. The strongest people in the room are never the loudest. They're the ones who see everything. They don't rush to speak. They don't rush to prove. They observe. That's the difference between power and noise. Most people live in reaction. They're quick to comment, quick to judge, quick to give their opinion. But opinions don't build wisdom. Observation does. The still mind watches more and says less. That's the foundation of emotional control. That's the discipline that separates the impulsive from the strategic. Because here's the truth. Every reaction costs energy. Every opinion, every judgment, every emotional burst, it leaks your focus. You think you're expressing power when you give your opinion, but in reality, you're showing you don't have control over it. You have a choice. You can react or you can record. You can speak or you can study. And the observer always wins. The still mind sees more. When you quiet your mouth, your mind begins to hear things others miss. Body language, tone shifts, patterns in behavior. You stop guessing and start reading. Observation is a superpower in a world addicted to expression. People crave to be heard, but the wise crave to understand. That's the key. Because when you observe, you gain something no loud person can have: leverage. Leverage comes from awareness, not aggression. A disciplined mind uses information as a weapon. An emotional mind throws words like confetti and calls it strength. You've seen it before. In meetings, in arguments, in social media debates. The ones who talk the most usually know the least. And the one who says nothing, he's studying, he's analyzing, he's preparing his next precise move. The still mind sees patterns before others do. It predicts outcomes before others even notice a shift. That's what makes observation powerful. It buys you time and clarity. Observation collects, opinion wastes. Here's the problem. Most people form opinions faster than they form habits. They don't watch long enough to understand what's really happening. They react to fragments and call it fact. But you're training to be different. You're training to master your emotions, your reactions, your perception. You don't need to be right instantly. You need to see clearly consistently. The disciplined mind doesn't rush to label. It gathers data. It studies the full picture before speaking. That's what makes leaders different from followers. Because every opinion you form too early is an opportunity wasted. It closes your mind. It stops you from learning. But every observation you make expands your mind. It turns chaos into information. Repetition time. The observer sees what the emotional miss. Say it again. The observer sees what the emotional miss. That's your mantra. That's your training. The art of holding back. Let me teach you something. Restraint is not weakness. It's strategy. When you hold back your opinion, you hold on to your power. You don't give people your emotions to play with. Imagine you're in a heated discussion. Everyone's shouting, defending, trying to win the argument. And you're quiet. You're breathing, watching, calculating. You let them show their cards, their insecurity, their need for validation. You collect data, tone, timing, ego, fear. Then, when you finally speak, it's measured, it's precise. It cuts through the noise because it's built on understanding, not emotion. That's the secret of great negotiators. That's the skill of true leaders. They don't fill silence with noise. They use silence to listen, because silence gathers the truth that noise hides. You have to train yourself to enjoy silence, not fear it, because silence isn't emptiness. It's space for awareness. How to train observation. Here's your real-world exercise. Every day, choose one environment to watch instead of speak. It could be a meeting, a conversation, a crowded street. Don't react, don't contribute, just observe. Watch how people move when they're nervous. Watch who interrupts the most. Watch who listens and who doesn't. Train your brain to collect before concluding, to watch before reacting, to understand before deciding. You're rewiring your instincts from emotional to strategic, from reactive to aware, from noise to clarity. Another practice, the 10-second rule. When someone says something that triggers you, pause. Count to 10 in your mind. In those 10 seconds, you shift from emotion to evaluation. You give your brain space to think and your ego time to cool down. Remember, that pause is power. It's where maturity lives. It's the space between control and collapse. Silent intelligence. When you stay quiet, people reveal themselves to you. They show you who they are without you asking. Their tone exposes their confidence. Their silence exposes their guilt. Their overtalking exposes their insecurity. Observation is X-ray vision for human behavior. It doesn't just make you smarter, it makes you untouchable. You stop falling from manipulation. You stop reacting to provocation. You stop wasting emotional energy trying to prove what you already know. That's how the calm win, because they don't fight for attention, they fight for accuracy. And accuracy is what builds power. Real world example. Think about an elite soldier on a mission. He's not rushing, not talking. Every movement is calculated, every sense heightened. He's scanning, watching, waiting, because he knows one wrong assumption could cost everything. So he observes first, acts later. That's how you must operate mentally. Every environment is a mission. Every interaction is information. The goal isn't to prove you're right. The goal is to see clearly, to understand reality as it is, not as emotion paints it. That's discipline. That's power. The shift. Once you start living this way, everything changes. Conversations slow down. You hear what people really mean, not just what they say. You notice who acts with purpose and who acts for attention. And the best part? You stop reacting to noise. You stop being drained by drama. You stop wasting energy on proving, explaining, or defending. Because now you're not living emotionally, you're living observationally. And that shift, that single mindset, separates amateurs from masters. Remember, the still mind watches more, speaks less. The observer sees what the emotional miss, and the calm always conquer the chaotic. Transition. You've learned to see before you speak. You've learned to collect before you conclude. That's mastery in motion. But awareness without direction is just potential. Now it's time to channel that clarity into purpose. Because stillness isn't just about silence, it's about control in movement. You mastered observation. Now let's turn that awareness into precision. Chapter 7. Move with purpose. Precision over pressure.